The Green Door, written and narrated by Stefan Gannon. This book is dedicated to our children and my teachers, Samara, Kalina, Lyle and Linnea. Introductions. Many years ago, before there were any motor cars or mobile telephones, a little boy called James and a little girl called Emma lived in a house with a dark green door. They remembered that door when they grew up. It opened onto a world of warmth, welcome, and love. They only had to think of that door to feel what it is to be valued, simply for being yourself. That feeling is powerful. It has given many the courage to say no to what is wrong, to fight for what is right, to trust, and to forgive. But here I am getting off the point almost as soon as I start. This is a story about James and Emma, and I have not properly introduced them to you. They were brother and sister. At the time these stories start, Emma was 11 years old and James nearly 10. James had curly hair, dark brown. His eyes were hazel. Emma's hair was lighter in colour, long wavy hair with a touch of amber in it, and eyes that were the grey-green of the sea on a blustery spring morning. Their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, were well known and well liked in the country near their home. Mr. Michael Brown was a tall man with black hair and broad shoulders for riding on, and a fine voice when speaking, singing, which he was very good at, and laughing, which he did from time to time, even though by nature he was a quiet sort of man. His job was an interesting one. He was a veterinary surgeon, someone who is especially skilled at helping sick animals get better. He carried about with him a bag full of ointments, potions and various instruments for treating injuries and all kinds of disease that horses, cows, sheep and dogs might suffer. And he was also fond of cats, as we will see. Veterinary surgeons in his days did not know all that is known by their profession now, and, as is the case with all of us, he did not always succeed in his work, but he often did. And the important point is, he always tried to do his best. You will hear more about him. Mrs. Brown was an interesting lady. She had a gentle voice, a practical turn of mind, and was no one's fool, according to Mr. O'Neill, the station master, a view of her that was shared by many folk. And most agreed that she was a good-looking woman, tall, fair-skinned, and hair almost the same colour as Emma's. Before she married, she had been the governess to a number of children. A governess was someone employed by families, usually families living in big houses, to take care of and educate their young children. In other words, she was a teacher, and an intelligent and amusing teacher at that. She showed James and Emma the world in which they lived, in ways that would help them to understand it. It was she who gave them their early lessons in reading and writing, and she who encouraged them to sing. She was very fond of music and could play the piano well. You will hear more about her. Oh, and I nearly forgot. Her name was Charlotte. Emma and James lived in England at a time when a lady called Victoria was the Queen. They lived in the countryside not far from a town called Winchester in the county of Hampshire, which the children were told at the village school was connected with a brave king from the old days called Alfred, who, it was said, had a reputation for burning cakes in the oven. He was and is the only English king to be called the Great. Not just because he was a great soldier, but most of all because he encouraged people to learn to read and write at a time when many could not.